Morning, Julie.
Good morning, Marlon. How you doing today?
We're doing. A little busy last couple of days, been kind of tough, but yeah. Hey, here it is Thursday, right?
That's it. It's Thursday. Beautiful day. It's gonna get hot today, but that's okay. It's all right. Our governor hasn't told us to put our air conditioning at 78 degrees yet, like Mondavi did for New York, but we'll see. That's yet to come.
Well, my wife keeps the AC at 78 anyway. So I'm good. I'm in the parameters here.
You're in the parameters. Yeah, well, we don't have the dual, for upstairs, downstairs kind of thing. So if we put it up that high, it would be way too hot upstairs. We have cathedral ceilings in our bedroom and stuff. And yeah, no, that wouldn't work. So we keep it down lower. But it's been nice with the newer windows. It definitely has been staying cooler in the house. So that's good.
Well, that's cool. That's good stuff.
Yeah, well, it's funny. My husband was talking to me last night because his mother's electric bill for the month in Edison, where she lives, was like $300 something. Jesse's, his sister, who lives in Metuchen, was almost 600. Right? You know what ours was for the month? This past month, $83. I'm telling you, it's because I wouldn't let them put that smart meter on. I'm sticking to it.
Well, here's the best part. The best part is I have my own gas, right? So I can control where I buy it, when I buy it. I bought my own tank years ago. So the only thing that they're providing me is cable and electric. That's it. I can do without cable.
Everybody, what I'm saying though is these like everybody got these crazy bills, electric bills, and ours is not like been crazy, which is unbelievable. But I'm sticking to the fact that I wouldn't let them change it to a smart meter.
Well, it cost you 12 extra bucks because we didn't want it either, right? So, how you doing, Susan?
Hey, good morning. So the house we live in already has a smart meter. How do we remove it and put in a different meter?
I think you got to request it. I think you can request a mechanical meter, but you have to pay like $12 or $15 extra a month for somebody to come out and view it, right?
That'd be worth it.
I think so. This way, hey, you got no. Okay, Julie.
Yeah, you pay that extra fee for them to come and read it. So it's not a big deal. But I think once you've changed, you can't go back. I don't believe you can go back. So, unfortunately, that guy came to the door and I was like, nope. So, no,
I think you could go back.
One, so.
I think they're going to tell you not to. Oh, we can't do that. Oh, they can.
Well,
they can go back. I'm not sure. Well, yeah, I guess you can do is ask, but I don't know.
Well, Mad Dog's in Oregon. Maybe he knows, because I'll bet the communists here are going to say, we don't have those anymore. And we've been here since 2013. So I could just put a Faraday cage around it.
Well, hey, let's go to Mad Dog. How you doing, Mad Dog? Good to see you. And then I definitely want to touch on Carol's space last night, the data centers, and a couple of things that I didn't realize that I kind of got an education on. How you doing, Mad Dog?
Morning, Marlon. We were wondering whether you're going to have a space today. It's good to see that you are. How are you doing? I wanted to just point out that I had a new furnace put in. And one of the things that they said that they would do is give us a, $200 discount if we set up Wi-Fi with the company. Well, I did some research before I did that. And I decided not to do it because what they can essentially do is control your thermostat from afar. And no, I'm not doing that. And I heard you talk about smart meters. I came in late, so I don't have a smart meter at my house. I have the old style. I don't think I want to go this new technology where they can control and shut down and regulate what I do and how I want to set my heat. If I want it 72 in my house or 68 or whatever, I want it 72 or 68. I don't want the city or the state or whatever coming in and controlling, turning it up to 70, 80, 90, whatever, or shutting me off.
Could you imagine the balls of these people, man? That's like telling me, hey, you can't have a fire in your house. And again, Mad Dog, for me, I burn wood 24/7 during the winter. It saves me tens of thousands of dollars by burning wood. So, I have my own gas. I'm a little more self-sufficient than most, but, I'm still dependent on the electrical grid.
Yes, just say no to changing to smart meters. Just say no.
I mean, it's the same kind of concept, right? Do you want a car that can make up your mind for you? Or if somebody tells me, hey, they have a commercial out there where, hey, the guy gets in the car and he doesn't know where he's going, and here it's a surprise party. But how easily could it be done to where, hey, you don't want to, and this car is going to do whatever it's told to do? Could you imagine?
Well, with that same philosophy, some nefarious act could happen to you. Somebody could hack into that thing and crash you off a cliff or whatever.
Yeah, no thanks. I'll start my diesel up, and I'll stick with the $5.50 a gallon here. I'd rather have that than my freedom. You know what I'm saying? I don't want anybody to really, crush down on my freedoms. And I think some of the new freedoms is you're going to be able to produce your own electricity. That's what I'd like to see. Man, I'll tell you what, it is boiling today. Yeah, Julie, no joke. It is hot. I think I got a sweat ring down to my belly button already.
Oh, well, that was TMI. But yeah, no, it's warm out there. I went out earlier because I got up earlier and then went back to sleep for a little bit. But I went out and watered all my flowers so that they wouldn't shrivel up today. But yeah, it's going to be, I think 107 it's going to feel like with the heat index. So yeah, it's going to be a warm one, but we've had these before. It's not a big deal. But you want to know what's funny too? The Viola Water Company, that's who services us and they're horrible, by the way. They sent out a mass text to everybody to conserve water this weekend. I'm thinking, we live in a townhouse complex. It's not like we water our lawns or we have pools to like, what are you trying to tell me? Don't take showers. I don't know. Like, I can understand my house like that. I want you to. They told us to, conserve your water this weekend because it's going to be so hot. Like, had a couple of highs ever in this. When does this become a problem?
Yeah, come on. It's July. Right? It's on the East Coast. It's July. This is the expected weather. These are the dog days of summer. Go ahead, Susan.
And it's rained a lot. Like I don't
the water
understand.
table's way up, Julie. The water table's way up. Like there's no reason, to be honest with you.
It's control then, because why else would they do that? There's a page on Facebook about it. Our community. And people are like, "Did you get a call from Viola last night?" And it's like, because the prices are outrageous. Our water bills are outrageous, and then we get this call on top of it. in a complex. We're in a townhouse complex. We're not servicing our own pool and our lawns or anything like that. It's just crazy.
Well, again, hey, I'm fortunate. I have my own well, so I don't really have to worry about it. Go ahead, Susan.
I was just going to say Julie's roboting. I don't know if she noticed, if anyone else has noticed.
Yeah, she's definitely a little robot this morning.
Again? Must be the spot that I'm in. Sorry, guys. Quit
So,
walking
hey,
over here.
Quickly, before we get too far out of it, I do want to kind of breeze through Carol's space last night, and Phenom was in there, Razzie. And Phenom I've known for a long, long time. And, you know, she's doing quite the charge on the data centers here. So if anybody didn't get a chance to listen to that space, I think they're going to have a sequel here to really, divulge the rest of the information. We probably only went over the first 4 or 5. Because the discussion was so good, you know, so I think she's going to come back for part 2. But, you know, she kind of confirmed what I've been saying the whole time here, where, hey, you know, all of these technology advances have some kind of military exposure here. I think I loved that when she brought that out, because, you know, I've been suspected, you know, of, hey, kind of, you know, going with the data centers here. You know, there was a lot of questions brought up last night about environmental reports, you know, long-term effects of EMFs, EMFs, and then EMLs is really the exposure of the ambient light coming out of these data centers. So it was quite interesting when we really, you know, hey, heard a couple of different perspectives. But what I did like the most was she confirmed. I mean, it's definitely a military action here. So go ahead, Julian, and we'll go to Susan.
Yeah, I listened to part of it. I was not feeling so well, so I didn't get to hear the whole thing. I have to actually go listen to the recording so I can hear the beginning of it, because it was a very informative space. And then that's what we need. We need information. We need to be informed of these things. And then, you know, is it okay to build it in certain areas? Is it okay that, you know, you're going to be subjected to this long term? Like that is definitely the thing. And it is what we need to do. We need to go with the future. I don't think anybody is against going with that, because they know that if we don't keep up with the rest of the world, we're going to fall behind, and everything changes. I mean, if we didn't change, we'd still be having horse and carriages. Come on. I mean, that's the simplistic of everything that's changed over generations. So we're okay with that. But like you said, we need more information as to what is the long-term effects of certain things. Is there water usage waste? Is there noise waste? Is there what is all the things that are going to come out of this? And that's.
Whoa, sorry, Julie. I hit it by accident.
That's okay. I thought maybe I was rugged. Am I rugged again?
A little
by the
bit,
way?
yeah.
I'm still oh man, I don't know what's going on. But yeah, anyway, I think it's a good thing, and I have to listen to the rest of the space. And guys, if you could please go down to that purple pill, like and reshare this space. Let's get it out there. Let's get into this conversation. It was a good space last night, and I know Marlon was one of the guest speakers.
Well, it was nice to hear the different perspectives, right? You know, it's hey, we may not want to be totally against it, you know, and I thought of it more of the plan of the administration, really, you know, hey, getting it out there, getting a foot in front of the Chinese. I mean, I think that's the tactic in the background. On long term, I'm not saying, hey, right now, but, you know, I think what was also talked about was acceptable losses, right? Think about that word. And I guarantee that's baked into these projects that are up in front of these boards, right? You know, if you had a data center that you wanted to go put in Franklinville, New Jersey, right? If you went in there and you had this proposal, well, you would need all these different criterias, and then it's got to go in front of the BPU, right? So, along the way, these environmental reports were done, but how are they skewed? How, if the people are writing the environmental reports are on the same team, kind of like Orsted with the East Coast Wind, we're losing. We're losing because they manipulating the information, right? Go ahead, Susan.
So this is not to discount anything that Phenomenology and Barry Razzie say, okay? However, a couple of years ago, some people did a really deep dive into who she is. And she has claimed for at least 7 or 8 years that she has a terminal illness. You can go all the way back to her Facebook page and how
Now,
much
Susan, let me just pump the brakes, okay? And yes, I remember that vividly. I known that crowd. I was in that crowd, and Raz. She did have a problem. There wasn't a cure in the U.S., so she did raise money and get all of these different treatments wherever she could. So, a lot of people really tore her down. And if you think about it, and I really want this out there, okay, Monica Matthews, she was on both sides of that coin. She was the one that went against Carmen and made that big shit about Carmen. It's the same shit with her. So, I know this woman. I know this woman's history. And you know what? If she was able to raise money to increase her health, she's doing a whole lot better now. So, maybe the word terminal shouldn't have been used, Susan, but, look, I'm going to give her all of the accolades because of what she's done in her track record. So I just warning you.
Yeah, despite what Monica Matthews, because I don't buy Monica Matthews. These are other people who attempted to help her and get medical records to help her, and it never transpired. I'm just saying. I mean, whether she's done whatever she's done, and maybe she's gotten better. I don't know. She disappeared for a couple of years, and I don't know at all when that went down. I don't buy a whole lot that Monica Matthews says. She's burned a few people, myself included.
Look, everybody's got, man, misery loves company, right, Susan? Go ahead, Rusty, you want to jump in?
Yeah, I put a video down in the I feel like my voice has changed ever since I stopped smoking. Can y'all tell, or is it just me?
You sound smoother.
Well, I just woke up too, so I sound like shit right now. But or excuse me, poop. Sorry, Marlon. But I put a video actually down to Susie. I tagged you in it, and for anybody else that wants to see it as well, of Phenom and her doctor talking about her condition and what they did. They've been on podcasts and stuff. So that was a bunch of bull crap. She was really mistreated, and that Monica Matthews is a POS.
Yeah,
And Marlon,
Sorry.
it was a good space too, by the way. It really was.
That'd be great. Oh, I can't wait to do part 2 because hearing the data center, hearing the information that, hey, I brought with the EMF problem with, hey, them converting the DC to AC and traveling this power, it's going to put out EMFs. They're only going to bury this 6 feet under the ground on the sea floor. It's only 4 feet under the ground right through the middle of Ocean City, New Jersey. What do you think those people are going to be exposed to?
And Marlon, you also heard Carol talking about the amount of, product that they're going to need, and the turning over of just all how much is going to need to be replaced and how often. And it just made me think about that mining the floor, because a lot of that's still on the table about mining our ocean floors for some of these rare minerals and all that. All this stuff kind of goes hand in hand. But yeah, it was my question. As a matter of fact, I'm going to do that for the next space. I said I was going to for this one, but work had kind of gotten busy. But yeah, I want to pull those two executive orders of Trump again, because you can see where it ties. A lot of the stuff ties back to military upgrade. So I'm definitely thinking I'm sure a lot. I have no idea how much a gold, not gold dome, but the Iron Dome or whatever is going to call, or how that works with computers and stuff. But I'm sure it's a lot. That's my thought process. Is that's where a lot of this stuff is a lot of the, I guess, bandwidth is going to be used for that. Don't you think?
Hey, if you guys could go back and forth for a second, I got to step away for a second. So go ahead, Julian, and you guys can spitball for a couple minutes, and we'll get back and tear it apart and how it really equates to my life, my community.
You want throw me the co-host so I can bring people up in case they want to. Yeah, no. It was a great space, Rusty. I really enjoyed it. I thought it was very informative because, like I was just saying, I'm sure you heard me saying to Marlon, we just are not being told enough. We don't know enough. So spaces that people are just, instead of just saying, oh my God, I don't want this in my town, I don't want this in my area, we need to understand everything all about it. So a space like last night, like Apothecary, was really informative. It was a great thing. I didn't get to come to the very, like almost the end because I wasn't feeling well. I am go back and listen to the rest of the space day when I'm good. I'm go sit by my pool because I got to do something in this heat.
You're rubber banding just a tad, but yeah, it's been hot and sweltering here too, just like almost can't even breathe. But I thought it was good too. And I told Marlon, I really want Marlon to come in and talk about that East Coast wind because that's still floating along. We were hoping it was going to get shut down. And we know Trump doesn't like those turbines. But I know Marlon said it's also possibly morphing into some other stuff as well. So, I mean, I don't know. We've just always got to be vigilant about our health. But that's the other thing I always like about Carol Spaces, too. She's trying to look for ways to mitigate these things for us. And I'm going to tell you, man, of all the things that I've learned in her spaces, the most helpful to me that I see, just because the studies that have been done, is that daggum hydrogen water, that hydrogen, water. You can either get the water bottles that creates the hydrogen, or you can get the pills with the magnesium and something else that generates it. But I'm telling you, man, if you don't have a hydrogen rich water bottle or the pills, you really need to get some. Because I'm telling you, just the studies on that stuff and what it helps with.
Yes, I have a hydrogen one. I don't know if it's a great one, but do I sound a little bit better, Rusty? Or am I still rugging?
Yeah, you do sound better. It's all about parts per billion and parts per million with those things, and to make sure that they're certified too, so people aren't just lying about it. But yeah, I mean, just it's crazy the studies on those, but they do, it does help with like the toxicity of the EMFs and even radiation, stuff like that. Go ahead, Miss Susie.
Well, yeah, I was just about to ask what all that does for you. I don't.
Yeah, it was the toxicity of to help with cellular damage and the all the junk and stuff in our system to help protect our cells from damage. And we put that in the pill during the space too, so you can see. I put the studies for it in there, so you could see.
I think also, Rusty, I think some of the talk of people that are working around heavy equipment and how it's changed their bodies and their capillaries, that was really interesting. I mean, I've spent a lot of time around machinery, giant engines, 10-cylinder, 12-cylinder engines running for hours. That was part of my job, right? So I'm even concerned, the heavy equipment, what is the long-term effect,
Well,
sorry,
and
Joe, I
Marlon,
got stuff
you have to think too that our bodies are made up of water. So you know frequencies and think, when you shake a bowl of water, you know what I'm saying? You can see it. And you got to stop and think the effect that has on us, these low frequencies that they say are so harmful for us. And that's the problem is you don't hear some of these low things, but it has a low vibrational frequency that really does affect our bodies. It's a real thing. So yeah, it's crazy. But one of the things I was looking at too that they were talking about is that these can move through like solid objects better. So they had, I have to look back on that space. There was one study that was showing that it's better to like put your bed on like rubber posts or something like that. You know, if you live around one of those, or maybe near a 5G or something like that tower, to put your bed on like rubber kind of posts to disrupt that transfer of energy, I guess. Weird stuff, huh?
Oh, I like it. I like learning new things and things that are good for you. As a matter of fact, I was saying that to my rheumatologist yesterday. You know, we were talking about the problems with my arthritis, and I was like, we were talking about like just, I kind of got him steered towards, changing diet, changing your diet, healthy eating, different minerals you can take, vitamins you can take, and stuff like that, instead of, the common Western medication. So yeah, it was a really good conversation, and he was receptive to it, which I was really happy to hear. And we kind of went back and forth on other things because, if I don't have to take medicine, I really don't want to. That's the goal, obviously. So, and really it's just about changing a lot of the things that are in your diet and changing your lifestyle a little bit in order to make things like that happen. Go ahead, Susan.
So I just went and took a picture of my meter to see, is it a smart meter? Because but anyway, and then I discovered, oh, chickens have been laying eggs over here. Well, when you wonder why you don't have as many eggs, and you're like, what's going on? Yeah, they found a spot there to lay eggs. They're all broken and stuff. Anyway, just thought that was funny. Yeah, it's a smart meter. Dang it. I don't know when they could have put that in, because we've been here since 2013, and in our area, they didn't start doing that till 2019. So did they ask me? Probably not. They just did it. That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah, they came around. We still get calls and letters, but we have not had to change it. So, I'm hoping that they're not going to make that a mandatory thing. But so far, we haven't had to change it. We just had to pay the extra fee for them to come out and read it. And like I said, everybody's been talking about these really high electric bills, and it's not like we're not sitting in the over here. We have a lot of light going on, a lot, we use our AC, we use everything, powered by electric, and our electric bill was $83 this past month. Go ahead, Rusty.
Man, I got my grandkids here for the summer, which I got a 2-week break from. I'm super excited about that. I went in there. First thing I did as soon as they left is I unplugged all their things, because I already got a bill since they've been here this summer. And I'm like, oh, because they leave. I mean, like, you know what I mean? Like, you'll go to bed and I've got all the lights turned off and everything. Sure enough, somebody got up in the middle, I wake up in the morning and all the lights are on and in the kitchen and everywhere. But yeah, and I've got a smart meter too. I checked, and another thing that I noticed that because I really never could understand what people were talking about, like these real IDs that everybody's gets so upset about. And Georgia has had real ID for like 10 or 15 years. Like, we were the first ones to get it. Like, and I was always like, I'm not going to get one. Well, I got it. And I didn't even know it. But yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, I've escaped that one too. I have a passport though. My husband has the real ID because he doesn't have a passport because he refuses to leave the country. So, he's like, there's no need for me to have it. I'm not leaving the country. So, I got a phone call. But yeah, I don't have a real ID yet either, Rusty. Not yet.
And I think what it was, I remember the first time I did, and like I said, this was like 20 years ago. where they were doing your biometric facial scanning. And I guess that's what makes the real ID. I mean, I don't know. Somebody else knows, tell me. But I remember like you could only hold your face a certain way. And I think that's all real ID really is. I mean, to my understanding, because they say, again, Georgia has it. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? What else it could be, you know?
Yeah, I do know that, like, they've always told you to, stand straight forward when you're taking your ID picture. I think you only go to if you're under 21, you can't smile, and then maybe when you're under 21, you have to stand sideways. I don't remember how that is anymore,
They
but
line your facial points up with some. I don't know. That's all I know. I think it's just like when you use it on your phone or something. I don't know, which I do. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm older and I can't see, but I see we got hands.
I don't know. Maybe Goats knows. How you doing, Goats?
I don't know shit about shit. Good morning. No, I just wanted to pop up and say hey and see how everybody's doing this morning. I haven't popped in a couple days. Just wanted to say hey and hope everybody's doing well. And listen to what you guys are talking about.
Hey, y'all.
We are talking about. Oh, go ahead, Rusty.
Sorry, I apologize. I was just going to say I'm going to go ahead and put last night's space, Carol's space in the purple pill, and it's also got her space on hydrogen water linked in there because somebody was asking me about that in the comments section. But I really recommend.
Hey, Rusty, can you do me a favor? Can you put it up top, because I don't have an iPhone, so I can't put it up top. You want to put it up in the nest?
Yes, ma'am. I will.
That would be great, so everybody can see it.
Yes, ma'am.
So, Goats, we're just talking about last night. Apothecary had a space about data centers and the health risks that come along with it, our potential health risks the long-term effects of the noise, the pollution, what it's going to do to the ground. So it was a real informative space. Just what's going to happen. I guess Phenom, I haven't seen her in a very long time. She came back. She was one of the guest speakers on the space last night. Rusty's going to put it in the pill, so if you want to listen to it later, you can. That's really what we're talking about is the data centers and the lack of transparency of what they're going to be used for, what they're using about. I guess Rusty, I don't know if she's still in here, but it was also about it was going to be they're basically military, being built for military use of some sort. Rusty, you want to explain that?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I didn't really know. That's why I was asking the question, and we kind of had to put a pin in it. I think we're going to go into that maybe more in the next part 2 space. But yeah, if you look at Trump's executive orders, and I'm trying to, I really need to look it back up because I wanted to see his specific wording, his 2 executive orders that came out. It was that same day when he said Q is quantum, or somebody, one of the administration arms, put out that Q is quantum. It was that same day he did 2 executive orders, and you could see that was all about AI, all about the data centers. A new, in his executive order, one of specifically mentioned like a new master computer, something like that, system, and to integrate it in with military. So again, I think it has a lot to do with my theory is the Iron Dome. You know what I'm saying? You would think that has to be part of it, right? And that Phenom confirmed that was her belief as well, that it had everything to do with defense. You know what I'm saying? She said it all has to do with defense.
Yeah, so that was the gist of what we've really been talking about so far, Goats. Go ahead, Boone.
So, Rusty, you just made a good point. Do you think these AI data centers have anything to do with Executive Order 13873 on securing information communications technology and services supply chain?
I don't know. What? Tell me a little bit more about that. What did you gather from that? What do you think that really means? What that executive order?
Well, this is the funny thing, Rusty, because on January 5th of 2020 at 5:05 p.m., Trump sent this executive order over to Congress, and this was read on January 6th before they even certified the election. So when you said that, that kind of popped back in my head, and it all has to do with China. And you have to go read it. But I think you made a very valid point and a good point on this tying back into an executive order. Thank you for the mic, Julie and Rusty and Marlon. You guys have a great 4th of July.
Thank you, you too, Boone. Stay up if you want and join in. If not, don't worry about it. We can come back up anytime. Good morning, Jeannie. How you doing?
Good morning. So a little bit more positive than I was the day before, so that's always a good thing. A little bit more sleep. Sleep is wonderful medicine. I have a friend who is injured in medicine. Basically, she had this operation that really screwed her whole life up and disabled her and etc. And she's actually a rep, medical rep, which is she would teach the surgeons how to do stuff. Anyway, she sends me articles like a crazy woman. And there is this one, and I'm trying to find it, and I will post it in the Purple Pill. But and I'm going to try to get it straight in my head. It has to do with what happened to the pilots on an Air Force base. And I never heard of it before. But they injured those pilots. And I said to her, I'm hearing a bunch of different things about all of this, but it's the attack on a military base. And she goes, that is treasonous what they did. And they should be put in jail. Now, you got to understand that this is a person who has been resistant. She's not left or right. I'm sorry.
I don't know what that
I don't know
was.
what that was either. I thought it was coming from you. It wasn't you?
No.
Jeannie?
No.
Weird.
I think they target me. Anyway, she is coming to the conclusion, right? I can't get her all the way here, but she's very intelligent and very articulate, and I keep asking her, please come be a part of us on X. You will see that it's not Republican and Democrat. We have open discussions regardless of who you are. It's all about education, and we need you to come educate on what you are seeing. She lives in the Chicago area and knows how corrupt and horrific it's mafia, right? Running that state. And so, but I am just fascinated that how people are waking up, right? So we are making a difference. I want to make sure you guys really, really understand that. We have made a huge, huge difference just by getting up in the morning and talking. People are, it's leaking out into their brains, is what I'm saying. Do not stop. Marlon and the lovely Mrs. Marlin, thank you for everything that you're doing. It is significantly valued, and I don't want you guys to think that this is just a huge waste of time, because it's not. Our stories and our support of one another is absolutely critical. So thank you.
Hey, Jeannie, I don't know if I just sent you, check your DMs. There was a space that Nurse Michelle had. She interviewed P. Ray from Chicago. P. Ray was kind of the princess of the Democrat Party, and she like goes all the way back. It's really a history on Chicago politics. Your friend will find it fascinating, and why P. Ray changed to be a Republican. I'm telling you, it was just a wonderful, wonderful and educating space. I definitely share that with your friend, and maybe you can get her to listen to it.
I tell you, we all need to do whatever we're passionate about because you're going to resonate with somebody somewhere. And it's not about the number of followers and all that other stuff because a lot of people are scared. So they're not going to hit a like button and do all that stuff and be connected to you in any way, but they are paying attention. And so we need to just have faith that we're doing the right thing. Have faith that your voice matters. Your voice matters. So don't stop. And thank you. I will.
Girl, you would have to tie me up and gag me. I don't care if my voice matters or not. You're not going to shut me up.
You'd have to tie me up and gag me. I love
Well,
it.
Jeannie, and thank you, Julie, for jumping in there. Jeannie, there's a lot of people that, hey, are here to sway your minds, right? They are very good at what they do. They do it very subtly. They don't even realize they're doing it. And, even some of our own community has been captured by this notion, right? And I don't need to go into details. If you guys look around, you'll understand exactly what's going on. So, and again, it doesn't matter to me, right? Jeannie, like you said, hey, I never expressed that I was friggin' Superman up here. I can tell you that, right? I've made mistakes, and mistakes I've probably learned the most from. So, you know what? You know how you tell when people are real when they do make mistakes. We're not this shining star where I don't have an S on or a super M on my chest, right? It's up to them. That's why I kind of put that in the title. Your future, your direction is up to you, not anybody on the app or what Marlon says or Jeannie or Rusty. They got to come up with their own minds, and they'll see the evolution on the app. And to Susan. Susan, that's probably the advantage that I have on the app, right? There's been a few old timers. Rusty, you've been around since the very beginning, Goats, and you guys all saw these social media influencers doing different things to different people. And I'll be honest with you, that's why I kind of fought back with the Phenom thing here, because I think that girl got a bad rap. And I can tell you the people that are hanging out with her probably weren't right people. But I look at her story. I look at her the same way I'm looking at Lindsay, right? Lindsay went outside of this country, raised money to go find her cure. And guess what? She did it, right? That girl looks better than I've ever seen her on the app. So it's the mistakes. That's how you could tell who people are, right? And I'm the first to own up to them. I wish I had more time. I wish I had more funds to be able to push a lot of the things I'd really like to push. But unfortunately, it's real life. I gotta make my mortgage. I gotta pay my taxes. I gotta, make sure, all my builders are satisfied. If you catch my drift, right? So,
Hey, Marlon,
it's up to you.
you just made something click in my head, which is people will come and people will go, and it's because they're trying to do something that is not, they may want to help you or help whatever, but they come and go because they're not doing what they're passionate about. It's like, oh, okay, I'll do this for you, whatever. And that's the reason why I say do what you're passionate about, because you'll wake up every morning and want to do it, and you just go do it. And
yeah, but I can't expect everybody to have that, right?
what do you mean?
I can't expect everybody to be as maybe gung-ho or adventurous to do it. People have to step out of the lane to do that.
Well, but okay, so you're a driver, I'm a driver. I know that there are other drivers here, and then there are people who want to help. They want to help co-host. They want to help build the IT system in the background. They want to, it doesn't matter what it is. Find your passion and then go do it. because and then I just think life gets in the way, right? Sometimes you got to work for a living and bring in money to put a house over your head, and that happens. It's but don't ever think that all of this time is wasted, because it has not been wasted. The work has been valuable beyond our comprehension. It has been valuable. It saved many lives, believe it or not. So I just want us to be aware that whatever you do, I want to let you know that you're doing God's work. You're doing God's work. You know, it's you're doing good. So don't stop.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah, goats. Hey, we all appreciate it as a community, because that's the only reason that we're even standing here today, is because of all the people that have joined in over the time. Yes, some may come and some may go, but most of them stay. So, hey, like I said, I've made a lot of mistakes with personalities, people, situations, but I'm only human. Yeah, goats.
You know what Jeannie was saying there about passion and work, and sometimes, because who knows what their passion is in their teens or 20s or whatever. So when you're talking about, like, go out and find your passion and do your passion, and you'll never work again, right? Well, sometimes your work can turn into your passion, right? Because I mean, again, who knows what their passion is in their early teens and 20s when they get out into the workforce, and everybody wants to be a rock star or a whatever in their teens and 20s, but not everybody has the ability to go out and do that. My job turned into something that I loved, and I do enjoy my work. And it serves a purpose. And then I get to go out and do other things and whatnot. But I just, young kids, I don't, it's hard. I think it's hard to tell them to go out and find their passion right off the bat and do that for the rest of your life, because you don't know what your passion is. Maybe sometimes what you do can turn into your passion.
A lot of things change that. Yo, Goats, along the way, a lot of things have changed that, right? We got kids to worry about. We got a direction to show them. You got to keep a household. There's life that gets in the way.
And I mean, just that can be your, family, raising a family, putting good kids out there. That should be a passion. That should be a passion for all of us that are parents. Raising good kids, getting them out there into the world. And then come out and spread what we've learned.
Goats, a lot of the times, hey man, I use the outdoors to kind of get that release. Like, we had a kick-ass trip over the weekend. We catch a marlin, we catch a couple of tunas, big ones. It was nice. It was great. It definitely does renew the battery. That's the kind of things that takes my head away from all the drama, all the pressure, and all I got to do is concentrate on catching that fish that came up in the spread. It's badass. So for me, that's how I do it, Goats. And things have changed along the way. I don't have the same aspirations that I had in my 20s. Yeah, I wanted to be a freaking millionaire in my 20s. Well, that didn't happen. Anyway, look, there's life things that come along the way. Yeah, Goats, and I'm going to rustle soon.
Well, and then you can find other things that like I popped a song down there in the pill, a new song I made, and of course, again, you all have heard me. AI. I have no musical ability, so I use AI to do a lot of it. But it's a new song called Freedom, and it's kind of a celebration of 250 years and what it's taken and what we need to do going forward. And so yeah.
Well, hey.
Yeah, that AI Goats. I'll tell you, that's everybody's becoming a musician now. I like it.
Well, maybe it's getting some of the talents out that maybe have been there forever. Maybe it's exercising their, writing songs ability. Hey, like you said, somebody's got to find their passion, right? I mean, I've made mine. I know what I'm passionate about. Did you guys see that thing I posted on Cape Verde? There's a boat there that I know at Cape Verde. They catch a 600-pound blue marlin. Did you see that thing come up the side of the boat? I mean, that's not a fish. That's an animal. It's more of, hey, the bait and switch, and you outsmarted them. I mean, for me, that's how I'm able to kind of recharge my batteries, goats, And in the wintertime, when I get out in the woods, it's a totally different deal. It's much more spiritual than you could ever possibly imagine. Every day's different. Every day is different. Go ahead, Russell. How you doing, man? And we'll get to you soon.
I'm good, Marlon. I saw that fish. It was a big old fish, that's for sure. Everybody's talking about passion. I don't think that we all have just one passion. There's so many different passions and so many different facets and groups of people that that are separate from others, I know that, being passionate can get you in trouble. It's against evil. But I'm passionate about a lot of things. I mean, and in different times of my life, I've been passionate about different things, and it's gotten me a lot of different places. Just the passion that you show may not necessarily come out to be what you planned, but the people that you meet along the way are where it's all at. And anyway, happy 4th of July, and I'm hoping for crazy things, but we'll see you guys on the other side.
Well, crazy things is good things, right? I hope.
Yes.
I got my fingers crossed.
Well, I got myself into a predicament by being passionate and I've pushed it all the way to the end. I didn't give in. I didn't sign up. I didn't, I'm not a fraudster. And I hope all these people realize that they can't get away with it either.
I think that's coming to light. I think they're exposing themselves every day. Go ahead, Susan.
Susan?
Sorry, I'm doing chores. It's like, where did I put my phone? I don't remember where I put my phone. I'm like running around. Anyway, I think one of the things is that we've been burned so often by people, scammers, and people we thought were okay. Politicians in particular. This one sounded really good, and what's that one-eyed Jack from alleged Republican from Texas, looked all good, and then all of a sudden he turns, and we're just very suspicious people. So anybody that comes along with an incredulous story, we're kind of like, okay, prove it, receipts, please. And it just it's understandable. If Barry is fine and she's doing good and she got help, cool. I think she's a whole different kettle of fish than Lindsay, but anyway. One of the things I'm really kind of concerned about is what kind of environment, what is the EPA doing at this point? I'm concerned that we've kind of deregulated to the point of, are we really like looking after the dangers of what's going on with AI? I don't like a whole lot of regulations and control, and it's gotten us into trouble. But by the same token, we need to kind of be looking at this. Also, some of these private companies, this is starting to look like we're going to have an AI bubble. We've got all these companies trying to put in AI stuff. And is there going to be a bubble at some point where it all, kind of like the .com boom, all of a sudden these places are going to go belly up because oversaturating the market. Why do we need that many data centers? And, just the tracking of our information, I don't like it at all. It just has me really concerned. Anyway, I'll go back to cleaning and doing chores.
For me, Susan, I think that even, and I didn't get to bring this up at Carol Space last night, but, Kevin O'Leary, I keep referencing back to him because put out as far as his company, some way he's connected to 10 data centers, one in Utah. And these social media influencers came out against him and really putting out a lot of misinformation about water use. Where are the environmentals? Again, we go back to what we were talking about last night. Like this goes in front of an advisory board, then it goes to the BPU. Right. So all these projects have been in the works for years. This didn't just happen yesterday. There's a lot of planning that went behind this and picking those particular spots that the grid can control it. So in the back of my head, I want to make sure that why can't they just tell us exactly what's going on? I think the American people can take it. What are the environmental reports? What are the long-term exposures to EMF? The ambient light that's exposed, the constant buzzing and vibration. What are those long-term effects? They don't have them. The consulting firms and the engineering firms were bribed to put out that information that's really suppressed. They're not going to tell you. So, they got it locked down here. This has been in the works for years. It's going in front of all kinds of planning boards. And now the citizenry is starting to fight back. They're understanding what's going on in their neighborhoods. Now, in the back of my head, I don't think it's all bad. I think in a lot of ways, maybe it would comfort Americans to know that we would have a defense system. And last night she proved it. That's exactly what I thought weeks ago when we started having this. This has to be some kind of military application. No way. No shot. Go ahead, Julie.
Well, yeah, that's exactly what you're saying. If this has been in the works for years, Kevin O'Leary did come out and say this. He's been invested. This has been in the works for years. Then why wasn't it explained to people? Why wasn't this gotten in front of before all these conspiracists or people that have their own ideas about things and that are spreading maybe misinformation around that's what's happening instead of getting in front of it and coming about things? But that's their MO. That's the MO of the government the whole time, is always never to tell people up front. Maybe I know there's certain things obviously you cannot say, you cannot do. I'm not naive to that. What I'm saying is that just a better explanation of certain things, that just something that, any mainstream person can understand, so that these kind of rumors, or maybe not rumors, are not going to swirl around, right?
Think of it like
I don't
this.
know. That's just a simple concept.
Think of it like this. If we were outpacing the Chinese and we knew that we were going to get pushback from the citizenry, wouldn't it make, if I was in charge, man, let's stick as many in as fast as possible. This way, hey, they can slap us on the hand and we can move on. How we're going to protect people, wrap it in some kind of protection where it's not emitting the EMFs. I mean, there's all kinds of precautions there. I don't think they wanted everybody to know, because this infrastructure is way past politics. Okay. It's the same thing with the East Coast Wind. Once it's into politics, it's already too late. Contracts are signed, money's exchanged. It's very hard to turn around. You're not going to get a court if there's a legal document there in a contract. You're not going to get them to shut it down. That's what we're facing here. And I'm sorry, maybe we can get Russell to jump in there. We go to Rusty Genie, and I am working in the background, Julie. So I'll do my best.
Don't worry about it. I got it.
Just real quick. I think that the biggest thing is the light that's being shined on this whole cluster mess that we're in it right now could be solved if we could just get people to be morally a better person and not greedy. The almighty dollar has ruined this country. And I think it's kind of going back the other way now. There's so many people out there that are bartering and making things happen without money. Anytime a contract signed, it's signed because there's somebody on the one end of it that's going to make money, or maybe both ends, who knows. But they're just, a lot of it's just plain old morals,
Yeah, I think there's a lot of things that we just don't know enough about, and